A change in leadership. The governor's office announces a shakeup in the Walker administration. Find out who's leaving and why. Safety concerns taking off. Why some plane owners are concerned about security measures at Merrill Field. And bombs away. Blake Essig checks out a live fire training today as JBER unveils a new weapon. What it could mean for Alaska's armed forces.
You're watching KTUU, Channel 2, Anchorage, Alaska's news source. And now, the 5 o'clock report with Rebecca Paulson.
Good evening. It's a midterm cabinet shakeup. The commissioners of the Departments of Law and Natural Resources are out. One of them is leaving for the Permanent Fund Board, and the other is joining it. Channel 2's Nikki Carville has been following the developments today and has what it means for an already changing Walker administration. Nikki.
Well, Rebecca, the first resignation was announced around 11 o'clock today. Craig Richards is out as Attorney General. Now, Richards is not only the head of the Department of Law, he's also been instrumental in Walker's plan to use permanent fund earnings to pay for state government. Just a few hours later, the governor's office announced a new head for the Department of Natural Resources. Andy Mack is replacing Marty Rutherford, who has been serving as acting commissioner. Mack is a director of the private equity firm PT Capital and has been working as a contractor for the governor. While Richards is giving up his position on the Permanent Fund Corporation board, Rutherford is being appointed to the board. It's a lot of information, but here's what it comes down to. Big changes in the administration at an already challenging time.
So, Nikki, with some of the comments the governor has been making about the gas line and, of course, the contentious relationship with lawmakers, what does this mean for the future of the Walker administration?
It's hard to tell, Rebecca. We did try to get comment from the governor's office today, but we're told they had no further comment beyond what's in the press releases. But it's a challenging time for the whole state right now. The governor's office did say that Richards was resigning to spend more time with his 3-year-old son, and Rutherford is retiring. And that's really all we know at this point. Deputy Attorney General Jim Cantor will be acting AG until Governor Walker can make a new appointment. Rebecca?
All right. Thanks a lot, Nikki. The reward is growing to find who slashed the tires of dozens of airplanes parked at Merrill Field earlier this month. On June 2nd, airport officials discovered the tires of 87 airplanes were slashed, causing at least $200,000 in damage. Channel 2's Steve McDonald is at Merrill Field tonight with an update on the case. Steve.
Yeah, Rebecca, earlier this week, the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation started a GoFundMe page on the internet. The foundation's chairman, Harry Keeling, says as of today, they've raised nearly $2,000 in reward money. Keeling, an avid pilot, has been flying for some 50 years, says he hopes the money will entice someone to come forward with information on who vandalized the airplanes. Meanwhile, Paul Bowers, the airport manager, says Merrill Field will add security patrols as a result of the vandalism. Bowers says work continues on $5 million worth of security improvements at the airport. Now, those upgrades were already in the works. They began last September. And Rebecca, just to kind of give you an idea how expensive this vandalism was, this Cherokee that's behind me, the tires are kind of on a smallish side, but they cost over $1,000 a piece, I'm told. Rebecca?
Oh, geez, that's so expensive, Steve. And of course, what's the latest on the police investigation?
Yep. Well, the police will only say that the investigation is ongoing, but talking to Paul Bowers today, he says police are going through some security videotape that was shot that night. He says that police are likely looking for more than one suspect because of the amount of damage that was done that night.
All right, thanks a lot, Steve. There was a picket outside the Anchorage Veterans Affairs Hospital today. It was close to the ones being held across the country. Channel 2's Mallory Peebles was there, and Mallory, tell us about their concerns.
Well, Rebecca, they're concerned that the federal government will privatize veteran health care as part of VA reform, and they say it's a real possibility and it's one they don't support. Now, those who get the services and those who serve them held signs saying, "Keep the promise to veterans" and "No to privatization." They believe the best care veterans can receive is at a VA hospital and that other hospitals wouldn't be able to handle the unique issues that veterans face. The quality of veteran health care has been the subject of discussion across the country. The local Veterans Affairs spokesperson says he's focused on helping vets and hasn't heard about any closes to the Anchorage VA. Many of the picketers I saw today let me know that they're veterans themselves, and so are many of the employees at the hospital.
Mallory, we've been hearing about this for a long time. What's the latest? What do our lawmakers have to say about VA reform?
reached out to all of them, and Senator Dan Sullivan says that veterans are best served through the VA, but he does believe that there needs to be accountability for the, quote, bad actors. Senator Murkowski also said she does not support privatization, and Dawn Young says that they need to have more improvements to the VA hospitals.
Channel 2's Blake Essig was there as the 425 tested its new weapon.
Now, it looks like a bazooka, but shoots like a rifle, firing highly explosive rounds capable of destroying tanks and armored vehicles. It's called the M3 Carl Gustaf recoilless rifle. It's a multi-role anti-armor weapon system. Army officials say it will allow soldiers the ability to pierce and destroy armor and buildings from hundreds of yards away. At 42 inches long, the recoilless rifle weighs 22 pounds and shoots 84mm rounds. Originally, the weapon system was used by U.S. Special Operations Forces in the early 1990s. The U.S. Army officials say that the need for the system has become more apparent among traditional Army units, which is why the Carl Gustaf is now issued to all Army Brigade combat teams across the Army. 20 of the Carl Gustaf recoilless rifles have been issued to the 425 and are officially ready for action. At JBear, Blake Essig, Channel 2 News.
An error on the Navy's Blue Angels Facebook page had some people worried about a potential cancellation of the Arctic Thunder Open House Air Show. Blue Angels lost a pilot in a crash during a practice flight for the great. It is time to take a first look at the forecast. Jackie is in with the latest and maybe some new weather. Jackie, what's going on?
Yeah, that's right. City temperatures today still hit the upper 60s.
When we come back, contamination concerns. A dozen and dozens of food recalls hit the shelves of Alaska grocery stores. What you need to know to keep your fridge free of harmful produce. And later, a rock removal causes traffic delays on the Seward, why the massive mineral was causing safety concerns for drivers. And here's a look at the closing numbers.
You're watching Channel 2 News, the 5 o'clock report with Rebecca Paulshin.
A dozen food recalls have affected Alaska this month, forcing grocery stores across the state to pull hundreds of items off their shelves. Channel 2's Travis Kachatourian is looking into it. And Travis, what's behind the spike in the potential food contamination?
Well, Rebecca, this is all surrounding three major contaminations hitting Alaska in the same month. One is listeria found in frozen vegetables and sunflower seeds. The second is flour in many major products that have been contaminated with peanuts. And the third are multiple recalls of packaged products that simply arrived to the grocery store spoiled.
Anchorage Police are looking for someone who walked away from the Midtown halfway house early this morning. According to APD, Josephine Archuleta left the building around 2 in the morning, and she may be headed to the Mat-Su Valley. The 20-year-old is described as 5'. If you plan to attend the annual Pride Fest parade this Saturday, be ready to see more security after recent events around the country that appear to be targeting the LGBT community. Security measures at Pride Fest events nationwide are being ramped up, including here in Anchorage. APD Patrol Commander Captain Ken McCoy said in a statement to Channel 2, quote, "We have increased the staffing of the parade detail. We do not anticipate problems. However, we wanted to have a larger presence as the event will most likely garner added public interest this year." The Equality Parade is downtown this Saturday from 11 o'clock until noon. Traffic on the Seward Highway was at a standstill this morning while Department of Transportation workers blasted out a rock precariously hanging above the roadway. DOT spokesperson Shannon McCarthy said the rock became exposed along the cliffs between the way station and Potter Valley Road after a rock slide slipped onto the Seward Highway. Crews used a high-power water stream to dislodge the rock. The rock has since been removed. Let's check in with Jackie in the Weather Center. We're having a little bit of rain right now, I think, Jackie, right?
That's right. The mountains are a little misty, so you can see that rain band pretty clearly here on our radar and satellite imagery over the south central area. This will continue probably over the next several days. But let's get to our time lapse and show you that, yes, it started out just cloudy, but then we'll see those clouds sweep in that rain, not only for the Anchorage area, but across the region here into the next several days. This is a live look. Hey, someone's taken off out of the Lake Hood, Lake Spenard area, right into our current conditions. And that holds a high temperature of the Anchorage area at 66 degrees. We've seen temperatures as warm as the upper 60s, and Eagle River even got to the mid 70s before things started to kind of cloud over and cool off just a bit. Temperatures currently 64 degrees at Muldoon, Eagle River down to 67. We have 65 from the south end of town, and right out toward the airport at 60 in Bird Point, 63 degrees for you. While in our weather headlines, clouds and showers are sweeping across the region. Low pressure is gaining control, and this trend will probably continue into next week. So we had all that high pressure. It's now slipped a little bit farther to the east, and in its departure, we see low pressure coming in right behind that. So showers along southwest Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it looks like, as I mentioned, but at least you have fair warning that this is the trend now, and it's going to stick around for the next 6 to 7 days, it looks like. It'll just give us another round of green all over again once we get the sun back.
That's true. I totally appreciate the green, but I was hoping to go running after the newscast, but maybe it will be in the rain instead.
It'll keep you cool.
There you go. All right, thanks a lot, Jackie. Well, it doesn't seem to be much of an off-season in basketball anymore. Here's Kevin Wells.
Yeah, NBA draft today, and locally, there's news regarding the Seawolf men's programs.
And now, from Alaska's sports leader, here's Kevin Wells.
They occasionally get overshadowed in their own city, but UAA men's basketball is also an annual threat to win the GNAC. And today, the Seawolves released their 2016-17 schedule, UAA 21-11 last year. Some home dates to look forward to: season tip-off November 4th against Portland Bible. You also have the shootout Thanksgiving weekend, plus 20 conference games beginning December 1st at Central Washington. Hockey player Colton Parayko could not have had a better first year in the pros, and that's been confirmed today. The 6'5" defenseman voted to the NHL All-Rookie team, one of only 2 defensemen selected. Coming up on the NewsHour, Kari Bustamante continues her trip to the interior, presenting this week's Channel 2 fishing report from Delta Clearwater. Kari hooks up with Reiner Newhauser of AK River Tours in search of a little grayling. Certainly appears they find what they were looking for. See how they did it at 6. And welcome to the NBA, Ben Simmons. LSU's 6'10" freshman is the #1 overall pick in tonight's draft to the Philadelphia 76ers. Rebecca.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. And we will be right back. Looking back at tonight's top stories, the governor's office announced the resignations of both the Attorney General and the Acting Commissioner of the Department of Natural Resources. Attorney General Craig Richards is stepping down for, quote, personal reasons, and Andy Mack is replacing Marty Rutherford as the Commissioner of the Department of Natural Resources. Mack is a director of the private equity firm PT Capital and has been working as a contractor for the governor. Alaska joined a national movement today, picketing outside of Veteran Affairs hospitals. Their goal is to raise awareness about VA reform, which they believe could be headed in the wrong direction. Now, while the turnout in Anchorage was small, issues concerning Veterans Affairs in Alaska could have large impacts. The state has the highest number of veterans living here per capita. Security at Merrill Field is undergoing some changes after dozens of airplanes were vandalized earlier this month. The changes come as the amount of reward money for finding the people who committed the crimes increases. The airport manager says Merrill Field will add security patrols along with $5 million in security improvements that began last fall. Maria Downey joins us with a preview of a story coming up tonight on the NewsHour.
Rebecca, tonight at 6, we take you back out to J-Bear. They're not new model guns, but new to J-Bear. A look at this anti-armor weapon system and the training that's taking place right now to learn how to use them on home soil and beyond. That story and more tonight on the NewsHour. We'll see you then.
Thanks a lot, Maria. And thanks for joining us on the 5 o'clock report. NBC Nightly News starts in just a moment. We leave you tonight with a live look at Lake Hood. We will see you back here at 6 for the NewsHour.